I was wondering if we could talk maybe a little bit about how you got into landscape architecture.
Sure.
How did
Yeah.
you fall in
I'm
love
sorry.
with it? Go
Oh,
ahead.
how did I fall in love with it? Okay. Yeah. Yeah. How I discovered it and how I fell in love are probably two different stories, but
Oh,
they're related. As Julia shared, I am from Detroit, Michigan. Detroit, not the suburbs of Metro Detroit. I'm from like real Detroit. And of course, there are landscapes there, but that really wasn't the thing. But while I was in high school, I fell in love with music. That was really one of my first loves. And I got a scholarship to go to a performing arts high school called Interlochen Arts Academy. And I was on the track to play for a symphony orchestra at that point in my life. But Interlochen is in the woods, like it's literally a word that means between the lakes. It's surrounded by state land. It's the polar opposite of Detroit, dense urban city. And that was the first time that I got a firsthand experience with ecology and tagging songbirds and eating wild edible plants and hiking. And, you all don't see snow very often down here, but snowshoeing and cross country skiing, like it was a totally different life. So I was really intrigued, and my mother and grandfather are professional artists, and I grew up sort of with a comfort level and an enjoyment of art. I wanted, after that experience, to combine art with science and the love of nature, and I didn't know what landscape architecture was. So I was lucky enough to go on a college visit to Michigan. And while I was at that visit, I explained to the counselor what I was interested in, to the chagrin of my parents who had invested so much time and energy for me to pursue music. But they reluctantly took me over to the School of Natural Resources, and that counselor made the connection and said, "Hey, there's this whole profession. And matter of fact, the chair of the department is on sabbatical right now, but he'll give you a call when he gets back." And I didn't believe it. I was like, "Man, there's no way this guy's going to call me back." But he did. There's a guy named Ken Polakowski, and he hired me as an intern in the summer before my senior year in high school, working with him on some research and essentially preaching the gospel of landscape architecture and explaining the range of the profession and where I could fit in. And he was a very powerful and visionary mentor in my life. And so he was the one who convinced me to go to Michigan on an accelerated program, so graduating in 3 years and starting the graduate program early. So finishing in 6 years with an MLA, and throughout the process, kept from the tough love moments that we've all experienced to sort of the soft pieces. But I think it was really getting into an environment where I could pay attention to the environment around me and feel the impact it was having on me, and wondering why I didn't have that experience really growing up, and realizing there was a profession that that's their whole job is to provide that experience to other people. That's really what got me into it.
next time on Talks with Our Friends. You keep a sketchbook, right?
I do. Yeah, I do.
Yeah, I think a lot of us designers do. And I know for our students out there, it's something that a lot of their art teachers are probably saying, like, you need to keep a sketchbook, you need to keep a sketchbook. And so I wanted to see if you'd be willing to share something from your sketchbook with us today.
Oh, sure. I'd be happy to.